guys, it's Mark Zickery, Mr. Sci-Fi, also known as Mark Zickery of Space Command, and Elaine and I are staying home, keeping safe, just walking around the neighborhood, walking our dogs, etc., and living our life to the full. We're actually taking one of our rare days off today. Went for a lovely walk around the neighborhood, keeping social distance, of course, and we're going to watch Contagion in a few minutes, which seems appropriate. I watched it on the airplane with the sound off. Now I'll watch it with the sound on. I've seen it before, but it started me thinking about, end of the world movies, and I wanted to mention some movies and books that you may not know about. So here's a few. There's a 1933 movie called Deluge, where a deluge kills most of the people in the world. It was thought to be a lost film, and they just found it a few years ago. You might be able to find it on YouTube or certainly on eBay or Amazon. Additionally, in Things to Come, 1936, part of it has the wandering sickness as civilization breaks down. And it's a great movie by H.G. Wells. I highly recommend it. There's also, of course, War of the Worlds. There's Wild in the Streets, where the hippies take over and round up all the older people. Well, I'm sure that's going to happen any day now. And Hal Holbrook's in that one. And they dose all the older people with LSD. And great movie. There's also, of course, On the Beach, which is the great nuclear end of the world movie. And there's and then of course we have the Contagion and Outbreak and all of those, but those are obvious choices. But it's interesting because in terms of novels, the idea of a disease getting out and killing almost everyone in the world is not a new idea. I mean, first of all, the first Last Man on Earth story of note is Mary Shelley's Last Man, which is of course written in the 1800s. And then, of course, we have the Scarlet Plague, in which a plague kills most of the people on Earth. That's by Jack London. We have the Purple Cloud, in which the Earth passes through a purple cloud, and only a very few people are left alive. That's a fun book as well. And and then of course, Arthur Conan Doyle did a Professor Challenger story about everyone on Earth dying. And it's a fun one, kind of dumb, but not as good as The Lost World. But there's, but if you want fun, there's When the Worlds Collide. And let me think, what are some of the others? There's a batch, certainly nuclear, Holocaust novels were rampant through the 50s and 60s. It was a subgenre of science fiction. And, but also more and more recently, in the 80s and 90s, you start to get movies about, disease getting out of hand, particularly as AIDS kicked up. You started to get a lot of films and books dealing with, okay, if this goes on, kind of stuff, plagues that spread and are unchecked. So anyway, that's just a start. I'll make a more thorough list in the near future, but this will give you something to check out online. And but beyond that, stay safe, stay in your homes. Take care of your loved ones, of course. We're going to be making a lot of cool announcements from Mr. Sci-Fi and Space Command very, very soon. We've been posting the first hour as webisodes, one per week, so definitely subscribe to Mr. Sci-Fi and watch them. And if you pledge money on our Kickstarter campaign, you will get the entire hour immediately. We're also in post on the half-hour audio play and the graphic novel that are prequels, and there's an animatic where we're combining the two. It's very fun. We're in post on hour 2, hour 3. We're ramping up to shoot hour 4 as soon as the pandemic lifts, but we're building sets, 1 and 2 people in our studio at a time, being very careful. And our visual effects people, of course, work from home. Our editor works from home, etc. So that's about it for now. And thanks for everything. Thanks for all your support. Make sure you subscribe to Mr. Sci-Fi, ding that bell. There'll also be a link to our Kickstarter campaign. And if you want to buy Space Command shares, they're $7,500 each. They're more reliable than the stock market at this point. And that's about it for now, guys. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye-bye.